I don't think so. Yeah. All right. Good evening, everybody. It's a delight to see you all. Thanks for being here. I am going to call us to order, and we will start with a Pledge of Allegiance led by our Vice President.
Madam President.
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. And just a friendly reminder that this meeting is being translated into Spanish. And so please speak at a moderate pace, enunciate clearly, and ensure you're speaking directly into the microphone. And can we have roll call, please?
Director Andrade.
Here.
Director Hodges.
Here.
Director Rosen.
Here.
Director Hatcher.
Here.
President Lamnan.
Here.
Thank you.
Thank you. Reporting out from our closed session, we accepted claim 2.6 and had no reportable action on the second item. And then we go to our fun part, which is the volunteer of the month.
All right. Good evening, President Lamnan and Honorable Board of Directors. My name is Deb Varner. I'm the Recreation Coordinator 2 for HARD over our nature centers. And I have the pleasure of presenting on item 7.1, our January 2026 Volunteer of the Month. So Kathy Atencio has been a dedicated volunteer at Sulphur Creek Nature Center since May 2018 and has contributed over 450 hours to the program. She began as a docent in the education program, going out on field trips and helping to present animals to various public groups. Her curious heart and passion for learning fueled engagement for students and staff alike. Kathy's dedication over the years has been truly exceptional. Following COVID, she eagerly returned to the volunteer program, ready to help learn new skills, and support the animals and the evolving needs of the park. Every Tuesday, she arrives with a positive attitude, an infectious smile, and has great conversations with staff, volunteers, and park visitors. During her Tuesday shifts, she plays a key role in daily animal care operations. Her primary responsibilities include caring for the rabbits, preparing animal diets, and providing routine care for our Oriole. Kathy has also supported the care of museum animals, including our turtles, demonstrating her versatility and reliability across animal care, wildlife rehabilitation, and education. She has developed a wide range of animal care skills and remains flexible and eager to learn new tasks as the opportunities arise. Kathy is friendly, charismatic, and works well with both staff and fellow volunteers. She approaches training with enthusiasm, asks thoughtful questions, and is consistently engaged in improving her skills. Her positive demeanor, flexibility, and long-term commitment make her a valued member of the team. Kathy's weekly commitment and willingness to step in wherever needed exemplify the spirit of volunteerism. Sulphur Creek Nature Center deeply appreciates her reliability, adaptability, genuine care for both the people and the animals, and that extra sparkle she brings to the day. Thank you, Kathy, for everything you do for the Hayward Area Recreation and Park District at Sulphur Creek Nature Center.
Please do. Please come to the microphone, though.
When I retired, I knew I had to work with animals because of my love of them. I'm really glad I chose Sulphur Creek, and the people I work with are the best also. I just want to say.
Yeah.
We'll take a photo.
So don't sit down yet. We're gonna have the board come on down.
Are you a good photo?
Congratulations again, and thank you so much. We'll move now to public comments. These are items that are not listed on our published agenda. I have a couple comments of folks who are here in the room. Do we have anybody on Zoom?
1 second. Let me double check. I do not see anyone online for public comment.
Okay, thank you. Then we'll start with the folks here. So our first speaker is Judy Calusi.
Board members, like this is the first time I'm speaking in public, so I'm not sure about all this. But I'm a diehard bocce ball player, and our courts need help. The walls are leaning. And so I did get an email to Jim Wheeler, and he agreed that they would do something. Well, first of all, thank you, everybody, for taking care of the drainage problem. That was really bad. It's been going on apparently for years. But now the walls need to be repaired. And we, us older people, we're in our 80s. I don't know how many years we have left. So I would like to really see a plan developed soon before we are under the ground. So if we can help with anything, with fundraising or a plan, we would like to see that for our seniors.
The balls don't bank, right? Off the side.
Thank you. Well,
Sorry.
he's the expert on the leaning of the walls.
All right,
Thank you.
thank you. And our next speaker is Lloyd Salisbury.
Good evening. I don't know that I'm an expert on anything, but I am an avid bocce player. My name is Lloyd Salisbury. I've lived in Castro Valley for 58 years. Same house. I don't get around much. And I was introduced to the game of bocce 16 plus years ago. I enjoyed the game so much I built my own court, and I'm hooked. Anyway, I want to thank the Hard Crew, little repetition, for the prompt handling of the drainage problem, because it has been going on for many years, but it got to the point where it never drains. So it had to be something. So anyway, thanks a lot. Construction foreman, I think Frank Sanchez, I believe his name. He was a great help, and he explained the process and everything. It was a good thing anyway. Tonight I'd like to talk about bocce court construction. There are certain standards that must be met to have a quality play. The playing surface must be flat, level, and the walls must be rigid and plumb. A standard sidewall must be perpendicular to the playing surface. A tilt of 2 degrees affects the motion of the ball coming off the wall. 2 degrees. I measured one of our walls on the court, and I varied between 3 degrees tilt to 8.5. Make it impossible to do bank shots. I mean, the ball just sticks to the wall because it's, it's hidden by the wall. I have a shop drawing of the construction I used to construct several courts that I've built. I'd like to share my plans with your planning and construction departments if I could. Since the drawings are not sufficient to present, I will have an architect draw a proper looking plan, to do it right. And thank you for attention to our problem. We're a pretty good group of old guys. We like to play bocce. Thank you.
Thank you. Do we have any additional public comments?
I do not have additional public comment cards, but is there anyone else here that would like to make a public comment? You're welcome to, and we can fill out the card after.
Okay. All right. Thank you. Thank you for coming tonight. As you may be aware, we can't discuss your item because it's not agendized, but we are aware of the issue. As you said, you've already been working with staff, and so we'll continue that work. Certainly, the foundation is always happy to hear from you if you want to do fundraising. And, we appreciate your commitment to the community. So we actually need to keep going with our
Barn raising, you'll have the community get involved and,
I appreciate that. We can't continue to talk about it, but you're already connected to staff, and I encourage you to keep all of those great ideas and share them. And we appreciate your commitment to the community. Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Out, or you don't have to stay, but. Yeah.
Did you want to make a public comment, sir? You can come to the microphone. Sure.
My name is Bob Dowers. I'm a resident of Alameda County in my 95th year. My wife and I are very good friends with Ken and Patty Martin. And at a dinner at the One Temple Club, he invited me to play bocce ball, which I agreed to, and we played in San Leandro on a single court for quite some time. While playing, he advised me of the work that he'd done in the development of the Castro Valley Bocce Ball Court. And the day it was completed in construction, we went to the court and actually threw a few balls. And it was nice to play on two courts instead of one. I've seen Lloyd's work. I understand what he's doing. I've seen his measurements. I've seen his plans, and I fully agree with it. They're well needed. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
I'm
All
gonna
right.
show you who the first bocce ball player was. I don't know if you see him.
I do see him.
Robert Swanson.
Oh, Bob.
Bob.
He shared this with me,
Okay.
and he is all for it, and also Nathan.
Okay.
Yes.
All right.
Awesome.
Thank you, everybody. We appreciate the work, and thank you to staff who are working with you all.
Thank you.
All right. Have a good evening. You're welcome to stay for the rest of the evening. It's riveting stuff. I highly recommend it, but we also understand if you need to step out. Okay. Anything else on public comments? Okay.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Don't forget your jacket.
Thank you. Okay, we shall move on to consent. Is there either public or board item, desire to pull any items, from 9.1 through 9.7?
Yeah, I like poll 9.3.
Okay, pulling 9.3. And any other items? Okay, I am pulling 9.1. So given that, I will accept a motion on 9.2, 4, 5, 6, and 7.
I would like to move to approve the remaining consent calendar items.
I'll second that.
Okay, moved by Director Rosen, seconded by Director Hatcher. Unless there's any comment, we can vote. And that passes with 5 aye votes. I'll take these just in order, just for sanity's sake. So on 9.1, I will move the item, but just wanted to also add a note that We had discussed the contract coming back to the board for revision, or not necessarily revision, but just review at 5 years. And that wasn't really an amendment, but it was just sort of a reminder for us all that that was the plan.
Yes, I think they changed it from 20 years to 5 years with 3 options for re-upping. But it definitely will be revisited after the first term.
Appreciate that.
you.
Yeah, just to give us flexibility. If nothing against the Girl Scouts, just the opportunity in case things change with the property. So, so that with that additional language, is there a second to moving as amended?
Yeah, I'll second 9.1.
Thank you. Any further discussion? Okay, we'll vote on that item. And that is unanimous. Thank you very much. And 9.3. Director Hatcher.
Got it. So 9.3 is the committee assignments. I would like to propose a revised first motion to accept all committee assignments except the HLAC and HYC, and would entertain a second to approve all committee assignments except those two. And if staff would recommend that we move those first and then take a look at the 2 ones that are not approved. Do I have a second on that?
I'll second that, just so we can discuss it.
Okay, do you want to say anything about your rationale for those two?
Yeah, definitely. The historical component of the Hayward Local Agencies Committee, Commission has to do with the leadership and meeting with other leaders of the Hayward Unified School District, as well as the city of Hayward. Historically, it's been the president and vice president. This gives 2 years of continual membership for the ability for our leadership to be in these conversations for multiple years. I would feel it appropriate to continue that by having the president and vice president in that committee. And with that, be proposing a motion to decline the Hayward Youth Commission for myself, Director Hatcher, and propose Director Hodges as Youth Commission lead, and with myself, Director Hatcher, as the alternate. That would be second motion with second meeting.
Okay, so we have a motion and a second on all but 2 of the assignments. Go ahead, Peter.
Just a point of order. So that's his point. When we had the second, I thought, are we still on discussion, or do we have to go on discussion prior to seconding that, or do we need, once the motion's on the table, we need to wait for a second, or how does this, I'm just checking.
So we're just having discussion on the first motion, which is everything except, but I thought it was helpful to understand why there was a request for a future motion.
I just
so
want
we
to make
can-
sure we're following the rules.
Yep,
Can I speak to the motion?
certainly.
I would like to decline the HLAC duty. It should actually, the HLAC position should go to the person holding the office of vice president, which is Rick Hatcher, along with President Lemon. So.
I have a Brown Act question that I have to raise. Did you discuss this? Did the 2 of you discuss this item?
Actually, I proposed when I was president, probably 10 years ago, that for HLAC and probably several other things, that the position for the 2 highest holders of the president and vice president should be together.
I understand that's your position. You and I had discussed that. My Brown Act concern is that that I know for items like this, I am allowed to talk to the 5 of you. I'm not, but therefore you have each had one discussion. I don't know that you can have another discussion. And I don't know the rules, so I'm asking, do we have a Brown Act problem? Do we know?
Yes, members of the board should not discuss an item that is up for action.
Okay.
But I need to follow up because I know it shouldn't be multiple. I will have to get back to you guys on that just to clarify and make sure.
Okay.
That we're making the.
We can discuss it here.
Absolutely. But what I'm asking is, it sounds like the two of you had a discussion before the meeting with each other. And as respectfully as possible, I'm trying to understand that because it raises a concern.
If it's two staff members, two board members, it seems to be within the ground.
Right, but they talked to me. And so if they also talk to each other, that's my concern. I won't hold up the item for the concern, but I would ask that it be checked, please. Thank you. Okay, so we have a motion on the floor to approve the items. I have,
Are we done with discussion? I'm
No.
sorry.
we are
Okay.
not. I was just getting.
Okay, I just want to make sure before we get to vote.
Right. So yeah, did you have an additional?
So I'm sorry. So I have a couple thoughts on this. One is, I think there's a deficit, and I think that going forward, we should have something in writing if this is the direction we want to go. I think that we should. I'm not proposing a bylaw amendment, but I think we should have it written in program, or we should have it in policy. I think it's something, there's a deficit here. Because there's some confusion, I think, in general. I think we should have some of that. But I do want to say that when I became president, I had not been vice president prior to, and I had not served on HLAC. And it took me a while to get my sea legs in that. And if someone had been the vice president ahead of time and then the president, I could see how that would have made the transition easier. And it would have actually been helpful, and it would have been more effective. So I could see how this would be a benefit. Yeah, that's all I do see the point behind it. I just don't think we have anything in writing, and I think that moving forward, whatever the decision we should put that in writing. That would be my thought.
Okay.
So what's the motion again?
So the motion is to approve the balance of the assignments with the exception of the Youth Commission and HLAC. Yeah. Okay. And I'm going to request that we actually vote on that motion, and then we can actually discuss the merits of the other part of the question. Does that work for everybody?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So any further discussion on that motion? Seeing none and nothing online. Okay. So please vote.
There's nothing there.
And that passes with 4 ayes and 1 nay. Thank you. Okay. I could make a motion, I won't. Since you started the issue, do you want to? Actually, I'm not going to take a motion. I'm going to continue the discussion. Because I want to make it clear what my rationale was in making these committee assignments. I appreciated our conversation as a board about where you all were coming from. And before that, I deliberated on things, that continued deliberation after our conversation, and then I made some decisions. And I made those decisions based on, first of all, what I think is beneficial for HARD, obviously. And I'm happy to discuss these further, but I'll just say them in summary. So what is beneficial for HARD looks like what is the skill set of the board members involved, what is the status of the work that is happening there, and where are people, and that expertise also includes where now I think it also needs to include where people live, because we have, for instance, when we've talked about San Lorenzo issues, we often looked to the board member who was living in San Lorenzo. Castro Valley, same thing, Castro Valley negotiate. And as those negotiations were happening, there was importance for continuity, et cetera. So what is beneficial for HARD? What are the skill sets of the board? And then what are the requests of the board? Obviously, if you really don't want to do something, I wanted to know that, and I tried to balance those. And then the third piece was the balance of committees, which I think is the second part of your motion, and trying to make sure that there weren't too many things sitting on any one person's shoulder, to the extent that they wanted that responsibility, where we all work many more hours than we are paid for, and so want to be valuable in that. So that was my rationale, and as I said, I'm happy to discuss that further. I have sat on HLAC for 8 years when I was on council, and just 1 year here. And as the Hayward rep, what happens in that committee is really important to me. And I've watched and been really frustrated with that committee for a long time, and I'm not alone in that frustration. Some of us have talked about that frustration. And finally, this last year, we have an agreement and a work plan, and I'd like to see that through. And so when I was thinking about who would be, so I wanted to be in there, and so I assigned myself there. I admit that. And I also thought about, again, who asked for things and what the expertise of folks were. And one of the few committees, Director Hodges, that you asked for was this committee. If you hadn't asked for it and you didn't have the depth of experience in Hayward, then my second choice would have been Director Andrade, because he was with me in this conversation this past year, and we have a work plan, and it is very important to me to see that work plan through. And so, again, focusing on what is the benefit of the work and how do we get it done, that was the decision that I made. Do I think that all of us can speak to the needs of Hayward's? Of course I do. And the rotation of committee members for that committee has not served us well as a district. And I'd really like to see us stop doing that. And I agree that we should have a second policy discussion about where rotation helps us. You all pointed out that the rotation of new board members through the district is really helpful, and I concur with that, and I think we should put that in writing. And I also feel very, very strongly that there are places that rotation has not helped us, and HLAC is one of those places. So I wanted to give that as context for myself, as you can contemplate the next motions. Thank you for that.
Thank you, President Lyman. And I did get that sense, not only in our words that we had as we spoke together about the idea of continuity, the idea of the importance and strength of committee work in general, and what we've done with HARD over these last 10 years that I've been here, that I believe is so much has been strengthened by what we've done at the committee level, bringing staff knowledge and expertise into those committees, being able to educate the board, being able to have public process during those committee meetings also. The idea of leadership within the committees. We don't have a lot of them with our liaison committees. They're just, you're leading the organization, not necessarily as a president or vice president. I do agree the word continuity is valid in this point of the Hayward Local Agencies Committee, because it does provide the leadership from our organization, and is the one few committees that does have that continuity with president, vice president, having multiple years in there to be able to be leadership. I will agree with Director Rosen in regards to policy and the need for solidifying this, and it just had not been brought up in any policy to the having it multiple years, you know, and so since that is kind of a new concept that's being interpreted here, I would definitely be wanting that to go to policy and procedures in the future. I do believe that, you know, with the reality of our organization and how we have it now, that the best form of continuity is to have the process that we have now, having the president and vice president for multiple years. And over this year of your leadership, we continue to revise the committee structure. And if it determined that this board goes forward in changing that to multiple years for that continuity, I will definitely be engaged in that conversation on a high level of respect for this district and what leadership really means. I think that it's our duty to evolve our leadership through this process. I mean, it's just, it has to happen. You know, we're not just bodies filling seats. So many elected officials, you know, sometimes don't really take as much of the responsibility and leadership that is given to us. You know, we have a lot on our shoulders that needs to be, you know, reading the 153 pages of a document. And I think that, you know, I've had high respect for my colleagues here in this process. So, but by moving the information at hand, I believe that by making, you know, my first motion of declining the Hayward Youth Commission and nominating Director Hodges on that would move this to hopefully a next motion to be able to have the president, vice president be the liaisons for the Hayward Local Agency Committee. And I don't know if I just made two motions right there, but I would like that to be addressed if that is what I'm seeking, that those two separately where Director Hodges is on the Hayward Youth Commission, and I would take that role of alternate and alleviate you from that position which you currently put yourself in for the Hayward Youth Commission.
Is there thoughts from my fellow board members, additional board members? You're still a fellow board member, of course.
I'm satisfied with the assignments, and I'll vote to support those assignments.
Thank you.
I just want to say that where this has been put in motion by myself is for about 10 years. This is breaking from, I guess it's a tradition, but I have a feeling it is on our, not the minutes, our, the board's,
Bylaws?
yeah,
It's not.
it's not?
It's not. There's no rotation for that. There's no assignment of who has to be on what committee.
Well, I think you and Rick would make a dynamic duel, especially with all the work we're going to have in the next year. So,
Well, if I could say, what's so special about the Hayward public schools? Not to denigrate it, but I'm just saying, we don't have one for Castro Valley. We don't have one for San Lorenzo. And, you know, I know you're a you had been a school teacher, and it certainly has a place in your heart for it. But I mean, you know, I think that the kind of information we get out, it's been around for 10 years. It started with the instigation of, I believe, Mayor Sweeney. And because he was very frustrated with the school, and I think he wanted another agency to help gang up on it. And, well, I mean,
They had
this
a
is
shared project,
Okay,
just FYI.
Okay,
Sorry.
shared project, so you may know the history, but I didn't really see that it's really benefited hard that much, or vice versa. You know, I mean, we have a relationship with the East Bay, with the school district, which is fine. But I mean, and so I think anyone who goes there, can well represent the district, and you know, I don't think there's anything particularly special beyond what we're doing already. Sure, there's some things we could do, but I mean, I think any one of us is well qualified to represent the district. And so I was happy with your assignments, and I don't really think we need to change those. But
Thank you. Go ahead, Peter.
Okay. So bear with me, I'm processing all this still. So the first thing I want to point out is this isn't so much about us, is I guess what I'm looking at. I know it looks like it's what's right in front of us. My biggest concern, this is why I want it in writing, is what's going to happen if, because we have potentially 2 new board members that might be here within the next 3 years. And what happens if we have a clean sweep at some time where we might have 3 or 4 or something like this. So I think the understanding that having some experience, because fortunately now everyone who's currently on the board has been on HLAC and been in the room for that. Whereas when I was president before, I'd never been on that, which was I should have actually been sitting in on those meetings ahead of time if that was what I was going to do. But I think it would be really helpful to have it on rotation prior to somebody leading it. I agree that it's pretty consistent that the head of each agency, whether it's school board, the mayor, or HART itself, be on HLAC, and I understand that, but I think part of what being VP leading into that is that's the natural. It's one of the new ascension things. Something to consider. Well, yeah, no, that's fine. But in this case, all of us have served on it, so it's not as big of a deal. And I think it will help in the future by codifying that. So that's the first thing I want to point out. The second one, so bear with me on all of this, and my mind's still a bit of a jumble. The second one is the geographic comment. When we did pass the districting, you made the excellent point that we serve everybody. So while I don't live in Hayward, I do have relationships with city council members and the mayor, and same with school district board members. And HART is served by the entire district, we're not balkanizing this. And so I understand that some people may have a little bit of an insight, or maybe a greater than a little bit, because they are in those areas. But if that were to be to the logical conclusion, does that mean that you're going to stay on HLAC for the next 4 years versus us, type of thing? I mean, because if geographic is to be a concern, and that's something I don't think necessarily serves it well. And that's what I was worried about. But also, to Lou's point, what is HLAC and how critical is it? I look forward to seeing these changes that you were talking about, and having a plan moving forward, instead of it just being a rehash of what each agency's been up to. I look forward to finding solutions, which is what I think you're bringing about now, is that's what you're looking for. So I don't have a solution on this whole back and forth. I just wanted to point out that these 2 things they're a greater concern to me, I guess, is that's my perspective.
And what I want to offer is that the fact that the mayor has been on HLAC was a personal preference for that person.
Oh.
Michael Sweeney had an axe to grind with the school district, to your point. Barbara Halliday was interested in the collaboration, so she continued. Mark had been on HLAC in the past, and so chose to be on it again. It's not a mayor designated committee. There are committees there are things that the mayor is supposed to be on, but they're pretty small. I don't even remember if there are any as I say that. So the fact that there has been the mayor there is coincidence, not protocol. And I will reiterate that rotation does not always serve us well. And for HLAC, it hasn't. I need that to be really clear, just because that's really important to me. So I'll stop.
I'd like to call for the question. Really, the question is, are we going to support this the assignments as stated, or are we going to change? We're not going to change the policy here, because that's not really on the agenda.
No, I
And,
understand.
we have to remember that there'll be a new board in a couple of years, and they can decide how they want to do assignments, at that time. Okay. So all I was calling the question, we can call, are we going to accept the assignments or not? Isn't that it?
So do you want to make a motion?
Well, my motion would be to accept the assignments as recommended by the president.
Point of order. We actually
Yes.
have a motion that was put out. There was not a second yet, but there was a motion put out.
So we hadn't actually gotten to the motion on
Okay.
that, but I will acknowledge that there was reference to having a motion earlier. And
Got
so
it.
I'm willing to step back and ask if you wanted to make a motion.
Yeah, I did. To make a motion to.
May I clarify? I understood the previous motion to approve the committee assignments as is, except HLAC and HYC, correct?
Correct. And then, sorry, go ahead.
Okay, just wanted to make sure. And so then the next motion would be to us for the assignments just for HLAC and HYC.
Correct.
Thank you.
And we've had sort of implied motions, both from Director Hatcher and Director Andrade, an explicit motion from Director Andrade, but in the spirit of fairness, I will go back to the implied motion for Director Hatcher and ask you to articulate it
Thank
as an
you so
actual
much
motion.
for the clarification.
Sure, thank you. So my motion would be to, for myself to decline the Hayward Youth Commission and to nominate Director Hodges for that commission.
Or you don't want to focus, you don't want to combine the two, or what would you put?
Yeah,
Yeah.
do that one. And then the second motion would be to, I guess, to put it in the terms of president and vice president, the HLAC to have a current rotation of president and vice president.
And I think that's a policy question. I'm not sure we could, I mean, that
That would be
feels like
policy.
it needs to
I think
be
it
a
needs to be
actual
personal.
policy conversation.
I mean, to nominate, so would it be nominate Director Hatcher for HLAC, but then Paul would have to decline? Would that be a third
Mhm.
motion?
So you could make a motion to say, I mean, you could make a motion to say that, that you decline the youth commission, that you nominate Director Hodges to take that instead.
Yes. That's
You
first.
could be one motion, and you could, just to move this along, not because it's a bad statement.
Sure.
And you could request that Director Hodges decline the nomination for HLAC and nominate yourself. So that could be one motion, just to keep things.
Just keep it.
Yeah,
You know, that's
I,
the idea.
to put it in those terms sounds different than the way it rolled in my head for sure, but that, so the first part of that motion is for myself to decline the Hayward Youth Commission and nominate Director Hodges for that commission. And the next part of that motion would be to request that Director Hodges step down from the HLAC and to have Director Hatcher, myself, in that position.
That's the motion on the floor. Is there a second?
I'll move.
Okay, seconded by Director Hodges. Any further discussion on the motion?
Just to be clear, the motion is that Director Rosen and Director Hatcher would be on HLAC.
No,
No, would not be on HLAC.
The motion is that Director Hodges, that Director Hatcher would step away from Youth Commission and Director Hodges would take that place, and that Director Hodges would step back from HLAC and Director Hatcher would take his place.
Okay.
Okay. Any further clarification or discussion? Okay, on the motion? Motion passes. Moving on. Okay. And moving on to new business, 13.1.
Right. Good evening, honorable board members and directors. My name is Kimberly Nguyen. I am the bond program admin coordinator for the Capital Department. On December 15, we received proposal of 11 qualified firms to provide on-call construction management and project management services for the various districts as needed. After staff review, four firms were selected to best meet our anticipated future needs. So this evening, I am requesting the boards to approve to enter into professional service agreement with 60D PMCM, Calming Group, Swinnerton Management and Consulting, and Dice Engineer Associate to provide on-call CNPM services. This concludes my item, and I'm happy to answer any questions.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Are there any questions, or are there any public comments?
There are no public comments online.
Thank you. Are there any questions from my colleagues? Yes.
Thank you, Kimberly. Kimberly, have we worked with Swinnerton before? Yeah, that was my only question. Thank you.
Thank
They're an
you.
old company. They've been in California. I think their license is like number 4 or something in the state. It's really low. Yeah.
Wow.
92. Okay. Okay. I knew it was really low. Yeah.
Good evening. Welcome. Any further questions, or I'll look for a motion?
So moved.
Thank you. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Thank you. Moved by Director Rosen, seconded by Director Andrade. Any further discussion on the item? Okay, then we'll vote.
Sorry.
And the motion passes with 5 aye votes. Thank you very much. Thank you. All right, moving on to 13 point. Is that it? That was it. Haha.
Yes.
Just seeing if you're paying attention. Okay, thank you, everybody. We will move on to other business. This will start with action activities of the board that need to be reported out. And I'll start this way, Director Rosen.
It's funny. Yeah, I just looked at my calendar and the thing I can think of was where you were at was when we were at the Castro Eden Area Chamber of Commerce Award to accept an award on HARD being the best of the best local agency for the area. So that was the only thing I think I've been to in the last couple of weeks.
All right. Well, Happy New Year.
Thanks.
All right, Director Hatcher.
I attended the Empty Bowls.
Your mic, please.
I attended the Empty Bowls. It was a fundraiser. The Director, President Lamnon, was there also, and so it was a great event to where a lot of our ceramic program donated bowls to the food, and we were able to make a donation and actually go in there and receive a nice bowl and a nice meal. And the group, I did not write the group's name down.
The beneficiary?
The beneficiary.
Mercy Brownback.
Mercy Brownback. Boom. And so it was really well put together, well attended. And so I just want to thank staff for bringing that to Weeks Park and to our community center. I did attend the Hayward Youth Commission meeting. It was the first of the year. Again, the kids were involved with putting together their group plans for each agency. Hayward Unified, the city, and HARD have each individual breakout groups, which is great to see them working together. Working the HARD group on a event to be sometime here soon in the early spring where they're getting together and want to do an evening event. They also talked about their trip going to Sacramento where the youth get together and be able to get on a train ride to our Capitol to be able to tour the Capitol and understand the whole legislative process. So it's great to see them brainstorming that. I did attend a HASPA meeting and it was nice to see the technical advisory group along with the 3 agencies, along with the mosquito abatement on that group now working together to implement the shoreline plan. So it's a very solid work moving forward. That meeting was mostly logistical on some of the points of moving forward with their new director that was hired. And so I think that puts another stream of leadership involved with HASPA and moving forward with the shoreline master plan. And I did drop by the mobile rec, which is always nice to see at Kennedy Park this weekend. Great for recreation to be out there, and they had a good amount of folks climbing the wall. That would be it.
Okay, thank you. Director Andrade.
I also attended the HASPA meeting, and it was kind of an inauguration of the new, I guess you would have to call general manager, the woman who was coordinating the meetings from now on, instead of used to be East Bay Mud. So it turned out well and setting a new direction. And pretty straightforward. I guess we're going to be hosting that starting in July here at the district. That's all I got to say. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Okay, Director Hodges.
Well, I was out of state and probably out of mind most of the time, but I was making good on a promise I made to my wife.
Did you have a good time?
Did.
All right, thank you. Okay, so yes, the Empty Bowls event was lovely and exciting, and there's great community energy, and so kudos to everybody who made that happen. Similarly, the MLK VIP event was fantastic, and really appreciate that there was a special VIP on that day. And I know that is a day off for us, but to have it be a day on for the community was really lovely. So thank you for that. And yes, as Director Rosen pointed out, we are the best community service agency. And not only is this a Chamber of Commerce award, but it is voted on by the community, and that is really lovely. So we have an award and a letter from our Congressman, Eric Swalwell, and a recognition from our state assembly and state senator. And so I will pass along all of these goodies to the places that they are supposed to be. And congratulations to all of the staff and to my colleagues on the board who made us the best of the best. And I will pass it over to staff. Who is kicking us off?
Adrian Lee Bird, Director of Recreation, Arts and Community Services. As it was mentioned prior, we had a nice VIP at the Shoreline, a shoreline cleanup on Monday for MLK. And a couple other upcoming events. We are hosting the Bubble Lady with 80 children, and that's where she does life-size bubbles, and it's really fun. We are also having a free teen event for 40 teens. It's a teen cakeover event. They're baking at Sorensdale. Our youth commission on February 7th will be holding a makers market at San Felipe Community Center. Our next VIP event is at Sorensdale on February 14th. And one reminder for Nicole, who isn't here tonight, our board awards luncheon is on January 30th. Thank you.
Good evening, Honorable Board. Megan Tiernan, Capital Planning and Development Director. We are wrapping up the installation of the new Greenbelt trail signs this week. So that's almost complete. We also are almost complete with the installation of new play equipment at Mount Eden Park, which we were able to make happen before starting renovation of the rest of the park, which broke ground last week. We are also kicking off the Bay Trees ADA project, so it's improving the parking lots and pathways in that park. We're just going to close one parking lot at a time so that we're trying to be least disruptive to tennis activities there as possible. And then we also broke ground on Ashland East 14th, which is the east side of the Ashland Grove project. So there were tractors out there today moving dirt around. So a lot happening.
Good evening, board members. Rick Hanai, Finance Director. We successfully completed our audit fieldwork for the previous fiscal year and are just finalizing our financials. We'll bring it to the board next month and then kick off our interesting budget process for the next fiscal year. Thank you.
Good evening, Honorable Board and President Lambden, Christy Briseño, District Clerk. Nicole will be following up with you all via email with a GM's newsletter, including all upcoming events. And also wanted to note that we have the board awards next Friday, which is on your calendars. And I will also be looking into the Brown Act. We've never had this issue before, but we want to make sure we move forward with the best practices and continue being transparent. Thank you.
I appreciate that. Thank you. Anything else for the good of the order? All right.
Well-run meeting.
What?
Well-run meeting.
Thank you, sir. All right. Thank you, everybody. Have a great evening. We are adjourned.